Hello, welcome to our Nursing 7000 course, the Introduction to the DNP degree and DNP roles. Now remember the DNP is a degree and that associated with that degree are a number of different roles. So we've talked about the nurse leader role, we've talked about informaticists and policy and healthcare reform, nurse practitioners or APRNs. We've also talked about. Hello, this is Deborah. I wanted to say hello to each of you and welcome you to week 5. First of all, let me say I'm super impressed with each of you and your abilities to understand what the DNP degree is and your role as a leader in transforming healthcare through evidence translation and quality improvement. The first 2 assignments in Unit A allowed us to look at the various aspects of the DNP degree and the various roles associated with it. Each of you will assume the role of a leader, but based on your previous experiences in nursing and your areas of interest, your role in addition to a leader will be specific to your interests and passions. So you may have a DNP role as a policymaker or a informaticist or a public health nurse or perhaps an educator or as many of you in this cohort are nurse practitioners, either family practice or certified nurse anesthetist or some other APRN role. We also have some clinical nurse specialists that focus on certain aspects of healthcare in their facilities as well. I would like to applaud each of you for your energy and effort in Unit A and want to tell you that basically this class is pass-fail. If you do exactly what you're asked and if you can prove to me as the faculty member assessing your learning and your ability to share pertinent information, you likely are going to get full points on your assignments. We are interested in APA format. It's very important in a doctoral program of study, and so we will be looking at that. That primarily will be, I believe, the area that most of you, if you do lose points, will lose points from. I made several comments in your recent reflection, the one that looked at why the DNP and why Weber, also the second question that looked at transforming healthcare related to what you have gleaned from the various resources shared with you and how you can use evidence to transform practice for quality improvement, for policy changes, looking at both direct and indirect care. The thing that I'd like you to remember is that most of you in some aspect of your current role are providing direct patient care. But the DNP is bigger than that. It's not only about direct care, but it's indirect care and systems change and system improvement. And despite the fact that you might care for patients or groups of patients as a nurse practitioner or perhaps a public health nurse, in the end, what we hope to have you learn is how to influence healthcare and change the future of healthcare for better outcomes and for better access, quality, safety, and availability to achieve the outcomes that we would like to as a nation or a community or an organization. So what I'd like to tell you is that for the most part, don't worry about this class as far as grades. It's a pass-fail class, and you need to put your energy and effort right now into biostats and your scholarship class, the evidence-based practice and ethics class. So what I'd like to do is to quickly take you to Unit B. I made a couple of updates. For some reason it looked part of Unit B was not there. The overview was missing, and the outcomes. So I've taken care of that. I'm not sure what the issue was. It was correct in the template. The other thing I took the liberty of doing based on the fact that I was updating this is that I put this philosophy and professional practice model called Careful Nursing in. It's something that I thought you might want to look at because it talks a little bit about philosophy and the importance of philosophy, how to read this article, and then it talks a little bit about literature emphasizing how philosophy is important to us as a profession, what the role of philosophy might be in this model that you'll look at, and then there's just some other general information that you might like to look at as well as this little graphic here. So you're welcome to review that in Unit B. The other thing that I have done is I actually added, I'm sorry, those I didn't add. I added this little piece on translational science. So you did look at that in this Reevey book here, sorry, the one that's Inquiry and Leadership. I'm putting it the wrong way. Sorry, Inquiry and Leadership. And we're also, as we move forward reading this Why Hospitals Should Fly, are going to talk a little bit about translational science and how we can improve delivery of care. But anyway, there's this website here that you might want to explore. It's an NIH site. It's the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences. That's a relatively new aspect of medicine and nursing. And so I just thought you might like to look a little bit at this, and there's some graphics and some information on that. And then there's some other links over here should you want to investigate them. There is also an article here that might prove interesting. It's called Translating Research Findings into Clinical Nursing Practice. And as all of you are going to be participating in that through the DNP program, this might be useful for you to look at as well. Go on down here and it talks a little bit about behavior change, clinical practice, evidence-based, informed care, those kinds of things. So the third one that I put in is this overview and summary of translational research from knowledge to practice. Some of this may be something that you've already read or reviewed in other aspects, but in other aspects of our course. But I feel like that might be a good resource for you as well. The other thing that is in this course, and this is in this unit module, is this area right here. This primarily is these two are nurse practitioner models, the Hagerdon and Schuler, but the Pender is health promotion, and that really is one thing that we as DNP prepared nurses are really all about: promotion of health and wellness and preventative kinds of interventions and therapies related to population health and community. So you're welcome to look at those. You don't have to if you don't want to. Anyway, so I've updated that just a little bit, and you have plenty of time to look at that because I have moved the next assignment for you because you're all doing such a great job. Assignment number 4 was a sort of a continuation of Unit A, talking about the timeline and some of the competencies that we didn't address at this point. But I've changed it to a reflection. It's due on October 21st, so 3 weeks about from now. And this will just be a reflection where you're going to share with me, not with anyone else necessarily, what you have continued to learn about the DNP degree, leadership practice roles, and a little bit more about healthcare transformation competencies, which those links I just shared with you should help you achieve. Looking here at the assignments as well, you have your personal DNP philosophy assignment coming up. I'm going to click on that real quick and just look at it with you if my computer's not too slow. So this is writing a personal philosophy statement. I've actually added this My Philosophy of Nursing. It's a cute video. It's probably looking more at the baccalaureate prepared nurse than potentially a graduate level nurse, but the principles and precepts are there, and I thought you might enjoy it. So view it if you'd like. If not, it's just a resource for your choice. And then there's articulating your your philosophy of nursing. This is just a couple pages of information. So you might want to take a look at that as well. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is there are several categories here, 1 through 7. The most important is to create a personal statement for your future practice. This says as a nurse practitioner. It should say as a nurse leader. I will go ahead and change that. And this is a statement that you will potentially use as you move forward in this program in your portfolio that you'll need to develop, as well as in resumes or CVs as you move forward in your practice. So the other aspects here are talking about your personal view of what an expert DNP clinician and leader is and the contributions that they'll make to healthcare. So that's part of the assignment. Number 3 and 4 are similar. Number 3 talks about the positive values, characteristics, qualities, and behaviors to integrate into your practice. And number 4 talks about the ones that you really want to avoid. And for each of those, you need to let me know why you feel that way. Now, even though these are separate bullet or question bullet points, I'm okay if you combine this into one section in the paper. You're also going to look at your personal philosophy and formulate what philosophical elements will help you achieve the role of the DNP prepared nurse leader and clinician. And then construct DNP responsibilities and commitments to patients, families, and communities. Number 7 sort of is related to that. And this is really looking at those essentials that talk about collaborative care, interpersonal relationships, and your commitment to lifelong learning and being aware of evidence and how it can influence practice. So for this paper, it is an APA format. I have 4 to 6 pages here, but I really think that you can put your ideas into 4 pages if you do it concisely. And if you go to 6, that's fine. You don't need an abstract. A cover page is required just for the practice, as is a running head. I'd like you to use level headers in the body of the text to divide the sections. And if you want to put the positive and negative characteristics, qualities together in the same section, that's great. Just indicate, of course, which are which. And then make sure that you use in-text citations to avoid inadvertent plagiarism. It's important that you give credit where credit is due, and that the ideas, even though we're now past Unit A, if those were ideas you learned in Unit A, then you probably still need to cite them in Unit B's activities. So that is an assignment that I hope will be fun. There's a rubric here which basically says the same thing. And as indicated in the course and the announcement last week, this assignment is due. Oh, sorry, I have to go back to the assignments page. I thought it said it here. On October 7th. So that's right here. So that's a week. That's 2 weeks from today. So anyway, not sure what else you want to know. I appreciate each of you. I think you're wonderful. You're doing a great job. And as I mentioned, I'm probably going to look at combining another assignment a little bit later on in this course, especially if I see that you're achieving the concepts and competencies required for this course to help you move forward. Anyway, I think you're great. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with, and have fun working on that personal philosophy.